what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour podcast.
Yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 235. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we get into everything, big shout out to Nick and Sam from the Video Ditch podcast. Thank you for joining us, hopping on last week. Always a good time with the boys. Brian, the gaming Unabomber line. Huge success. I smell a hoodie. I smell merch, Brian.
Damn it, Jim.
Gotta call Optic. Gotta design the need.
God
Brian.
damn it. No, cheers to those boys. Thank you for coming on. And if you haven't already, make sure to go over to their channel. Give them some love. Give them some subscriptions. They're great guys. Can't wait to have them on again in the future and be on their podcast. So, as always, it was a great time. Now, Jim, do you know? Tell me you got my reference for the break in the middle.
Oh, with The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just making sure you knew what it was from.
No, I was actually like, all right, Brian, good show on that one.
Yeah, I went through a lot of different things. I was like, do I cut to like all static like we talked about and just act like to end it? Or like, I was like, I like the Simpsons angle, of course.
Yeah, the one friend of theirs made like a really good edit with like horror music and like the lighting and stuff like that. I forget. I'll try and find it by the time we upload, so we can have a link below.
Nice. So, Chambers, 2 weeks in a row, some guests, and I think we will probably have a lot more coming back, getting in a swing of things. But the big news, Jim, behind you is not a goddamn Russian bunker with medical bags on a goddamn wire grate. You actually have some shelves behind you.
Good Russian music, good Russian. Yes, the shelves are finally coming together. So I put the picture on Twitter. The Nintendo shelf is done. I have 2 more shelves. So one's behind me, getting started on that. And then the other one, the like inner shelving wall parts came broken. So they didn't get credit to Prepack. They didn't give me any trouble. They're just like, all right, because I sent them some pictures. They're like, okay, we'll send you some replacements. So they took care of it right away. Props to them. So I'm just waiting for those to come in so I can build the last shelf. So, Brian, the real question is, am I going to fit everything, even with these next 2 shelves?
I was going to... Well, here's the deal. I mean, where's your Sega? Is the Sega going to go right behind you?
Sega's probably going to go, like, next to me. Like, hard right on the camera. This is... Back here is going to be PlayStation, and if I can fit it all, Xbox.
Do you have... Well, you did get that big haul that was given to you.
Yeah, and
I
had a pretty beefy 360 collection, and, like, a decent-sized Xbox One collection, even though, like, I probably, like, 30% of that is all sealed crap that I just bought from Five Below, because I was like, hey, $5. Hey, $5.
That is a good... I mean, I'm thinking about your old setup, and it was spread over so much stuff. I mean... Yeah, you might be squeezing. You might be squeezing. And, if you got rid of those useless-ass N64 boxes, I think you'd be fine.
That's what got the most love out of the pictures, Brian. How dare you?
Yeah, because who in their right mind collects N64 boxes?
People who hoard, much like me, Brian. People who never got... Luckily, my hoarding as a child paid off, because to replicate that would be, whoo boy! I never would be doing that again.
Jim... In another life, I can see that Boogie documentary about you. If you made a few turns.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
You just need your collections. And I can see you at a GameStop. What do you mean I only get this much money?
Look, you know what? The man knows how to spend his money right, okay?
I mean,
Toys and whores, it's all you need.
He needed a sound bar, Jim. All right?
Look how happy he is. He's got a much younger girlfriend, surrounded by swag. He might be living his best life. I don't know what everyone's talking about here, Brian.
I'm just proud that you finally got a nice setup behind you again. And yeah, like I said, I was giving you shit before this, the Switch collection. I keep forgetting how much you have. And I know most of it's dog shit. But,
you dare.
You know what it is? I don't know what it is. I just find that red, it's like... On one hand, there's the part of me that likes uniformity, and the other hand, I don't like it. It's almost like N64, I was giving you shit, but I do like the color palette where it's like, yeah, it's mostly green, but you got some mixture in there.
You have design, you have art, even with all that shit.
Yeah, the Switch is just ugly to look at from here. Like, it's just a big red bleh.
Yeah.
It's like the Canadian flag, just fucking posted up.
It might be some of the worst spines. For some reason, I don't hate it too much. Like, it's not like PAL PS2 spines. I despise the look of a wall of PAL PS2 spines because that's all just basically.
Which ones?
It's basically just all white, like, and then like the black lettering under the PS2 logo on the side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't find that appealing at all. And like even like Wii, that's still the same setup, but like they put a little more pizzazz into like the art on the lettering and stuff like that. At least you get that with it. But yeah, it is just a sea of red.
Here's the other thing. It just clicked in my head. I'm looking behind me. I'm like, yeah, the PS1s, the jewel cases, you could argue those are pretty basic. They're just black most of the time. You know, they might have some coloring. But I just thought about that. Why did the Switch need to be roughly that long? Why couldn't they have made it a more compact thing? Like, for when you open it up, it's the same feeling you get when fucking Amazon sends you a little ass box inside a giant box, and you're like, the fuck? Like, how many Switch games do you know come with actual full instruction manuals?
Not many. You know who does it? Indie games. For the most part, a lot of indie titles, they go above and beyond with like the stuff they throw into them. But like anything mainline, you're lucky to have like a graphic on the insert on the inside.
Yeah, because if it was more like a jewel case or just something smaller, imagine how much more you could fit.
Well, it's like it's Nintendo being fucking Nintendo again, because like God forbid they make it either do it the size of the 3DS where it's like as tall as a normal CD jewel case, but you know it's just wider. Fine, but at least on a shelf it's like a standard size, or do it like the Blu-ray disc cases that like Xbox and PS3 and up come.
Yeah.
So at least you have that. At least you have that uniformity. Yeah. No, goddamn Nintendo has to have its own friggin' thing all over again.
No, but it is. I mean, it's an impressive collection. I will say it always impresses me. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, when it's done. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to have it looking good for about 2 weeks before I fuck it all up again. Although what isn't on camera right now is a goddamn war zone. That's just strewn out of just like half-done boxes and containers and just bullshit everywhere. It's like it's a mess.
It's like everything else going on right now, right, Jim?
Pretty much. Sums me up in general.
Every day's a blessing.
Every once in a while, I have something good to show, while the rest of it is a goddamn nightmare.
That's life, Jim. Come on. That's life. Yeah, Chambers. So I see you already sipping away. I wanted to save the bottle pop for while hold on. Oh, I love that. Yeah, so I apparently I had one of these Jovials left over.
Ooh.
The Trogs. I don't know how old this is, but it's that Belgian style double ale. And Jim, what's double mean?
Double.
There you go. You're finally learning.
Yay!
At 7%
Only took 10
alcohol,
years.
It comes in with 13 IBUs, so you know it's going to be a smooth son of a bitch. And yeah, this was the one that was originally brewed for Chris's wedding. We decided Jovial was just too damn good a union of dark stone fruit character and evocative notes of toffee, chocolate, and molasses to make only once. You may kiss the beer. You see what they did there? Like kiss the bride. Fuck, Jim. So yeah, pouring it out now so I can't sip. So while I'm pouring, Chambers, what are you drinking away?
Well, Brian, from the... Actually, where the fuck... Oh, yeah. Feel free to put in Mr. Dirt, Brian. I earned it that time. From the Dewclaw Brewing Company, it is the Lemonade Stand By Me Hopped Sour. Comes in at a respectable 7.1% alcohol. Ooh. So, darling, stand by this hop sour as you sing along to the best hits.
Oh my God, it's like the fucking song.
Bursting with flavors of fresh raspberry and pure Meyer lemon puree, this brew's beauty shines with subtle sweetness and is carefully balanced by soft citrus acidity. Worth every cent is to stand. Get ready to sit back for simpler times.
See, when you first said Stand By Me, my thought was like, oh, they must like the movie. Because I was like, there's no way they're doing it to the song. Kind of a surprise. Interesting.
Yeah, so far it is very tasty. Has like I mean, I did a hard pour and there's no head or lacing at all. It's a thick boy. Like, you do not really see through it, which is kind of shockingly heavy. And there's a ton of particulates at the bottom too. So Doesn't seem like it's
what
filtered.
style was that again?
Just says it's a hot sour. So let me see. Anything else here?
So
it's an ale with lactose, raspberry puree, and Meyer lemon puree.
Lactose. That's what it is. That's the thickness right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they fucking love putting lactose in there.
Yeah, they like their lactose, and that puree must be legit because they did not strain that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the Jovial, I did the hard pour, but this head is dissipating fast. Doesn't seem like it's going to linger forever. It's semi-clear. Hold on.
Actually, Brian, while you do that, I have to go finish killing a mouse. I'll be right back.
So tasty. All right. All right. Chambers just killing things left and right.
Two today.
Well, while you were gone, the beer did calm down, and I forgot how delicious this thing is. Yeah, I don't know specifically which stone fruit they mean, like cherry, apricot, peach. I don't know. But you definitely taste a fruitiness and a lot of sugar, like the molasses and everything else. It's very, very sweet. And I feel like, you know what? As I'm drinking, I'm like, this actually is like an appropriate like toasting beer. Like it's a warm beer. I love this style. I always have. So I would suggest it, but I don't know. Do you ever see that anymore in the stores? Because the way it's written, I would claim it's like a one-off, but I feel like I've seen it for a few years, so maybe I'm wrong.
You know what? When you lifted it up, I was like, oh, it does look familiar, but no, I haven't seen that in a while.
Well, if you can find it, I would say it's definitely worth a try, unless you don't like deliciousness like Jim, and then don't try it.
What?
With your goddamn tuna fish hoagies.
I like that is getting more hate from you and her than me doing the sushi at the buffet.
I mean, that I would expect from you. And that's like a thing where it's like, you probably did it once. It's not something you would do multiple times.
No, I did that a few times.
You did a lot of things a few times. But I'm just saying, the tuna fish hoagie, the fact that it's almost like that's a go-to for you, that's the offensive part, Jim.
Right, thank you for accepting that it's called a tuna fish hoagie.
I'm going to say it because that's what you call it. You have to dumb yourself down. You got to be a plebe sometimes.
Right, when it's the right thing, then you eventually go, I got to call it right.
I hate you so much. So, Chambers, I see you've had some time to finally put some shelves. So the real question is, have you been able to play anything? Or is all your time killing mice and setting shelves that are broken?
Yes. God, they're not broken. God damn it. Not the ones that are set up.
We're doing them backwards. Whatever you did.
Yes, I did. Dude, that added so much goddamn time to the one that I was working on. Fucking wasted like 3 hours.
Jim, it's just such a you thing to do.
Sure is.
Like, are you even at the point? It's like with me now, I'm at the point when I break something, I don't even get mad. I just go, yep, this is what happens. Do you do that with when you do shit like what you did? Or
no, I still get pretty mad. Like the real joy of that, like taking the couple things apart, that wasn't a problem. It was having to pull out all like 6 dozen nails that I had already put into the back. For all the backing pieces.
And let me guess, some parts ripped a little bit.
Oh yeah, yep. I had to get out the marker.
And of course you use a marker, because you probably also are doing it to the area that faces the back of the wall that no one can see, but I know you're still anal about that shit.
Oh, I mean, like some stuff I didn't fix, but there was stuff that was very visible.
I mean, even though you're going to be covered completely by games.
Look, Brian, just let me be me, all right? There's no turning back. But to answer your question, still continuing my quest for Tetris 99. Couple third places. I was really rolling in one fucking game. And it was a day that I was off, and then I got called by work on my off day, right as I was in like the top 5. So that just killed that run. But besides that, I had joined you, Brian, in playing, and we talked about it last week, coming through for the midnight release of Call of Duty. And the reason why I didn't hop on besides that first night is because of I just want this game done. I just want it set up. I want it done. It needs to be done.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'll obviously get to my opinion, but let the people know. What do you think of it so far?
I was actually impressed by how well it ran. I mean, I am playing this on a 2011 TV, on a TV stand from 2013, on an original Xbox One, which is also from 2013. So, I mean, it wasn't the smoothest experience in the world. And I thought that, like, my internet was, like, shitting out on me during the gameplay. But I did, like, a speed test on my phone, and I was getting, like, 450 download speed. So, that shouldn't have been the problem. So, I think the old girl's seen better days, Brian. So, it was a little bit chuggy, but it was still playable. But yeah, I mean, the servers had ran, especially for a midnight release, the best they've run in probably 10 years, maybe.
Honestly, ever. I would say ever, period.
Like, we never had trouble getting into games together, even together and with our buddy. We didn't get kicked from games. Like, it ran as smooth as it ever possibly could. The game modes are, you're pretty much your standard Call of Duty fare. It was nice seeing the reimaginings of all the classic maps. I like the gunplay. The gunplay seemed to be fun. So far, nothing wasn't too ridiculously overpowered from what I could tell. You put more time in, so you can probably go into that more. But, yeah, I mean, everyone seems to be, like, trashing it online and YouTube and all for whatever reason. I mean, I know everyone's saying the campaign sucks, which, I mean, who really cares all that much? I mean, I'm glad that there's a campaign there. I just kind of consider that, like, window dressing at this point. Maybe I'll get to it. I probably won't. But, yeah, as far as, like, the core online experience goes, fun.
Yeah, I look at Call of Duty at this point, like, when it comes to the campaign specifically, how I would look at, like, Street Fighter. I don't even know if Street Fighter has a story mode or whatever, but that's not why you're playing Street Fighter. It's not why you're playing Call of Duty at this point. I will say, back in the day, Call of Duty campaigns, they hit hard. With 4, all the World War II ones were always great, but man, with 4, with the nuke, and then obviously Modern Warfare 2, no Russia, like, or was that 3? I can't remember which one was.
No, it was Modern 2.
But yeah, like, after a certain point, it was like, okay, campaigns are cool, and I'm someone who's played through all the campaigns. I haven't played this one yet. If all the multiplayer maps are remakes, I don't know if it was a rehash of the original campaign, or if it's something new, but either way, yeah, I'm amazed at the amount of hate. Like Jim pointed out, every other game, there would always be an inevitable, we would get into a game, someone would get kicked, or we were waiting forever for a game, or some bullshit would happen, and there would be inevitable issues. I've never had the movement, gun use, all that shit be so smooth for an opening night. So I said I was just really impressed with that. It does have a lot of the goofiness that I don't like from the last game, which is like, you can't unlock certain things for this gun unless you use this gun and do this. Like, the progression system needs work. It's definitely fucked up. And me and Mole actually figured out, there's all these like things called armory challenges. Interesting because you can only unlock them by beating so many daily challenges, but you're limited to like only doing one a day. So there's like 60 things that you can unlock that way. So it's like interesting because now it's like forcing people's hands. Like, you got to commit to what you really want to unlock. I think that's an interesting thing. And the zombies mode, I played with Mole and Eric. Dude, it's really cool because it's Warzone, and there is a way, like, instead of just being wave after wave, it's like a Warzone map. You do objectives, and if you can, you try to exfil yourself out of it. So it's a little more objective based. I don't know if I like it more than the original. I think I like the original, me personally, better. But I like that they're trying something new. And this is the first time that the Modern Warfare games have had zombies in them. So I like that. So really? Overall, yeah, it's always the Treyarch games that had it. The Modern Warfare was always Infinity or, what is it called? Who does what? I'm trying to remember.
Infinity Ward did Modern Warfare, and then Treyarch did Black Ops, and then Sledgehammer did whatever the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where Sledgehammer fits in there. But now I guess because everything's purchased, that's why they're able to bring it across. I have no idea. But I like it. It's cool. I really don't get the hate. Honestly, even by last year, I think with that Modern Warfare, I was already kind of like a week in, and I was like, eh. This one, still playing, kind of can't wait to play it again, and I'm enjoying myself. So, Oh, Jim, but I did pull out the motherfucker build. The running around with the throwing knives.
Oh, god damn it.
And the shotgun, but being silent. Oh, I was smoking some people, Jim.
No, I'm sure you're pissing a lot of people off.
But
yeah,
yes.
one more point though, like I said, like Brian's playing on a Series X. I'm playing on an original Xbox One, and we had no problems like cross-generation playing with each other and stuff like that.
Damn it, Jim. Fuck. You do that too well. Yeah, no. Great game. I don't get the hate for it, but then again, haters gonna hate, Jim. So I think I talked about, last week I mentioned that I did beat Blood. So Modern Warfare has been the majority of my time. However, an attempt, something I kind of promised myself is between GOG and Steam and all the shelf shit I have, I finally started playing, and I'm a little bit into the original Alone in the Dark.
Oh.
Have you ever played that?
No.
So, man, like, I always knew the history behind it, how it's like the progenitor for Resident Evil, the survival horror as a whole, especially in 3D, owes it all to this game. And yes, it looks ridiculous, but goddamn, is this sound design, like, whew, it is really nice. And there's a lot of goofiness but I went in there completely with expectations like, this is gonna be dog shit. And don't get me wrong, it's rough in some spots, but there's something satisfying about punching and kicking a zombie or a zombie chicken in the face. Like, you know, there's a little enjoyment. So I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bang that one out. And I want to get through that series eventually. So figure
how many games are there? Like, I know there's the original, and I know there's a remake that everyone seemed to hate. And so there's another remake that's going to be coming out in a year or two.
Yeah, so there's 3 original in the trilogy. Then they did, I don't remember, I think it's called Illumination or something. And then there was the remake. And then there was a game in between, Ascension or some shit. And I'm fucking up the names, I know. So I think this remake that's going to be coming out will be the 7th game in the series. So that was another thing. I don't know anything about any of these games. I don't know if they're loved, if they're hated, other than, you know, the original one being what it is.
I didn't know that there were all those sequels, so that tell you anything? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I think I have them both on Steam and GOG. I think I got them both for like $1 for the entire bundle for each on each. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I had the same one. So yeah, you know what, Jim? I think I know I'm going to do 23 games now because I don't think that's a tremendously long game. And I have a few of those. Like, did you ever hear of Dracula the Ascension from the PS1?
Yes.
So that's another one I randomly have on GOG. And I saw it's like a 5-hour game. So I'm like, okay, I could do that. And I have Resident Evil, the one I bought when we were at Too Many Games in one year.
Survivor?
Yeah. So I was like, let me just bang out these miscellaneous ones that I just haven't gotten around to. So I think I'll hit the 23, Jim.
Good boy, Brian.
Jim, if you, I'll give you a pass if you just beat Tetris 99 once.
Brian, I would be more satisfied than beating 100 games if I could just fucking win one game of Tetris 99.
Gotta close that chapter, Jim. You gotta.
I tried talking my wife into it because she's like, I've been bored lately. Like, you know, it's winter, it's cold, you're not going out as much. She's like, what should I do? I was like, well, you could always, because she likes to be competitive with me. Like, we go hard with skee ball and shit like that. I'm like, you should just take up Tetris and see if you can beat it before me. You probably will. And she's like, you know, I'm not good at games. And I'm like, she's like, it seems to be a hard enough game. I'm like, it's really not that hard of a game. I might just be awful and an idiot. So.
But it's funny because I've seen you play Tetris, and I don't think you're bad. I don't know, is it the pressure that gets to you? Are you just cracking every time under the pressure? Like, I don't get it.
I can't perform.
Jim, do we need to be sponsored by Hims?
Maybe.
Blue Chew. I always like when you do. You're about to say something and then you give up.
What's there to say? Just be sitting there rocking a nice little stiffy as I play, Brian. Why not? True inspiration.
God damn it. Well, Jim, I hope to see you.
Oh, there's an inspiration. I can't get any release until I win a game.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Sounds like torture, really. there with a 5-hour Woody. Because God knows I won't fucking win the goddamn game.
Just beat it, Jim.
First one and then the other.
God damn it. Well, either way, I better see your ass on Modern Warfare 3. I don't want to see your shit off to text your wife and tell her to let you play. Because I don't want to hear shit. I'm tired. I'm going to bed by 8:30.
Oh, no. It wasn't any of that. I'm full shelf mode right now.
All right. I don't want to hear no bullshit. But, Chambers, let's move on to happier things. And what questions do we have from our awesome patrons this week?
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up is a holdover from last week. Poor Kev called. He always gets these in like a day or two after we record. Doesn't matter what day we record. It's always a day or two later.
It's a day or two late.
But from last week, which would you choose? Over the course of a year, you have to call your dad daddy 10 times, or use the word orgasmic in a sentence with your mom 1 time.
Well, I mean, my answer is easier. I mean, it can only go with my mom. My dad's not around anymore, so...
Yeah, that is true. You do have that kind of default answer there.
So what is it? I have to use the term orgasmic?
Yeah, 1 time around her.
Oh, I could sneak that. I think it would go... I think I could easily sneak that.
I think that's the easy answer. Like, I could sneak that in, like, on any stupid thing.
Yeah, I feel like with you... Yeah, you probably could. Although, I could see your mom if she picked it up. Be like, what?
Yeah, kind of.
But I would love to see the look on your dad's face if you called him dad. What the fuck's wrong with you?
There would be words said that I can't say on the internet anymore.
I know. That's why I'd love to see that. See, my answer for you would definitely be I would want to see you do that.
Of course, I got to put some emphasis into it. I got to go, hi, Daddy.
You're like, what?
What?
Jim, back down to the basement.
But I like it there. That's where my toys are.
I love these weird questions. So yeah, good question, Kevin. Get the questions in the day of, bud.
Next up from Brian Reese. If all the Philly sports teams made the playoffs at the same time, and you could pick your game to go to, which sport do you choose and why?
I've been to every sport. I'm trying to think like what's the most like. I like Eagles the most out of all the sports, like football the most. So that and hockey would be my go-to. But I'm trying to think like what would be. What's gonna see football? Even though it's fun to go there, it's not that fun to watch in person. Like unless you got a higher view, it's like it's actually not that fun to like try and look down the field and all that shit.
Actually, Brian, we weren't going to have a Krusty Corner story at first, so we're actually going to have a really quick one we were going to record after we're done this episode.
Okay.
I have a story to tell, but only for you paywalled fuckers.
Yeah, I'd probably go Flyers, just because I think that is one of the more fun ones.
Playoff hockey just hits different. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's so goddamn intense and so raucous there. Now, like, when the Flyers are good, like, Philly fans will be like some of them. Philly fans are so hardcore about the Flyers, like Flyers fans, that it took, like, over a decade for the crowds to finally stop showing up. Yeah. Like, they have been in the shits for, like, 12 good seasons now. Like, they've had 1 or 2 here and there where, like, they were pretty hot. Yeah. But, for the most part, they have been dreadful and unwatchable, basically. And it's only in the last, like, 2 or 3 seasons that the crowds are finally being, like, half full. They're calling you desperate to get you there. Like, they will give you packages to go to, like, club box seats, to go to these, like, luncheons and shit like that so they can try and sell you season tickets. They are desperate.
Yeah.
But when they're hot, those are crazy crowds. I haven't been to a Phillies playoff game, so that would probably be my pick just because the weather's a little nicer. It's always it's more like welcoming atmosphere, I guess. And right now, the way this city kind of loves this team, even though they fucking blew it, it's just like such like a vibe I can imagine when you're there. So that would be a lot of fun. I've been to Eagles playoffs games before, and while they're fun to be at and intense as hell, Yeah, it's balls goddamn cold. And those bathrooms are just stacked with drunks. So you're waiting like 20 minutes. Even if you time it in the middle of like an Eagles drive, you're still waiting like forever. And even then, you have to get desperate and like pee in a trash can or a sink just to get back quicker.
Yeah,
which I can't do because I'm pee shy. So that's even more of a help.
You are so pee shy. For someone who's I've seen naked more times than I ever want to. And I've seen you pee in public places. You're welcome. So pee shy. It is so ridiculous.
I just need my privacy.
Actually, I stand corrected. You know what? I guess I have been to one Sixers game, but it was so long ago. See, Sixers is the one that I feel like I've never experienced, especially like with the crowd really all hype. So I don't know. That may be pretty cool because that's one where I feel like you're gonna get really, unless you're really in the nosebleeds, like you got a good view of most shit going on, and I could see that being pretty intense too.
Yeah, what do you call it? Like Brian and I are both kind of that stereotype where if you're a hockey fan, you don't watch basketball. Oops. But yeah, I mean, not like I hate basketball. I just never got into it. So yeah, no, that would be cool too to maybe go there and experience it. No James Harden anymore to fucking drag the team down. So
it's
time, Brian. Let's buy our Tyrese Maxey jerseys. Let's fucking go.
I mean, yeah, 50 points is impressive by any imagination, Jim. So could he be the new hope, Jim? You tell me.
I mean, he might be. We're on the right track right now. Got rid of Harden, got rid of Doc Rivers. We're on the up and up.
Listen, there's a lot of things people can hate Phillies fans for, but as a Philly fan, you know what I hate the most? How eager we are to just latch on and say, this is the next big thing. And I know we're not the only sports team to do that.
No.
But, my God, do we go balls deep. Like,
right, Vance Worley was the next big thing. He was the starter of the future. Jay
That's
Happ,
my point. Like, every time it's like, oh, this is it. And it's like, give us some breathing room.
James Gossespierre, savior of the franchise.
I mean, yeah. So I'm going to go with hockey. Now, I will say, you mentioned cold. Like, I went to 2 of the Winter Classics and talk about fucking cold. Those games were cold. But, yeah, no, hockey is another one where it's like, it's a little, people can be a little obnoxious, but it is a fun time. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
great question.
In summation, they're all probably fun. But, yeah, surprisingly, the sport we're the most intense about is probably the worst to go to.
Yeah.
Next up, from Burn Retinas. Favorite sports... Wow, sports-heavy episode. Favorite sports viewing experience. 1. At home with the buds over on your fresh TV setup. 2. Your local bar. 3. Live at the stadium. Each respective team and or sport can apply.
So... the bar is never going to be my answer. That's a terrible... I don't care who you... Like, you're not going to hear shit. You're not going to, like... Unless you're just there blackout drunk. That's not, like... If you're interested in the game at all.
I mean, normally for, like, a playoff game, they'll have it blaring, though. Like, you're going to hear it, and people are tied to the TV.
Yeah, but it's still... Yeah,
I've been to some dirtbag Philly bars before for playoff games, and it's fun. It's a fun time. I don't know if I would really go out of my way to do it now, though, at 37.
Well,
that's a young man's game, or an alcoholics, either one.
Going live is one of those things. It's like, it's so dependent on like, who are you going with? Do you got kids with you? Are you just there with your buddies? And you're like, there's so many different questions. I feel like, as you said, at 37, most of our friends are all saying it's like you got your setup at house that you like. You got your snack you want. You got your drinks you want. And yeah, having people come over, that's really cool. But it's like you just want to chill. But also
toilets, easy access to your toilets.
Yeah, so, man, if it's... You know what? I think the best viewing things, though, is better than anything. Yes, it is cool, like, over the years, going over brothers or other people's houses for the Super Bowl or whatever. I still say, like, when it happens, now it hasn't happened in many years because they don't have any superstars. But at its prime, like, a UFC fight and people getting together to watch that, you don't even have to appreciate, you don't have to know a single fighter, and that is the most universal sport to watch that anyone can get into. Because you're seeing 2 guys beat the shit out of each other. So whereas everything else, you have to have some idea of like, I care about this sport or like this or something. So I feel like that's kind of the best viewing experience at a buddy's place with everyone there. Drinks, snacks. That's usually a good time.
Yeah, especially when you have that like big crazy win or knockout or submission that comes like out of nowhere. Like for a gathering, you almost probably won't see anything like instantaneously louder than shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Brian, you remember when we went to the bar for McGregor Diaz 1?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
People were losing their goddamn minds. You wanted to kill yourself, but my God.
Jim, I think you overestimate how much I care about Conor McGregor. I think you
cared. Don't you even try.
Oh, no.
I have witnesses that I will bring into testify.
I wasn't happy about it, but he got the W in the end, Jim. He beat him the second time.
Though I do think you were sadder about when Brock lost the title that one time.
Oh, I was so much, because a fucking idiot tried a flying knee. I'm like, what are you doing?
I just sat in the corner the whole night going, that wasn't Brock. That's not Brock.
Yeah. Hey, I also had most of the people there agreeing with me. You were just the hater of Brock, Jim. You jumped on his bandwagon late like everything else.
When it was worthy, Brian.
Just like Orton and everyone else. You came around to the
Orton,
right side.
Eventually when they weren't like fucking overexposed and they were just like a fun veteran who was around. And not the one who was shoved down your throat.
He's still better than CM. But anyway. No, yeah, the UFC, that's definitely the thing. Like I said, there is... I'm sorry, baseball, the most boring. Even in playoffs, it can be hype. And
No, fuck you. No, every goddamn pitch is anxiety ridden. You hang on every goddamn pitch in the baseball playoffs.
Meh.
They are they might be the most intense. Like football's intense because you're one and done. Football's the most intense. That's why, sense.
That's my point. Is like with baseball.
Baseball, one bad
try.
pitch can ruin an entire game and change everything.
Just depends on where it's at, right? Like, if it's the first of the series, you're like, okay. Like, you only got a million tries. Yeah, football, that one fuck up. Why are they going on fourth right now? What the fuck? Like, there's so many moments where you're just like, Jesus Christ. But all those things, they drive me crazy because the little bullshit rules, I'm going to call timeout here. Do this. That's why fighting, you're not seeing that kind of bullshit. It's like, oh, did he knock him out? Did he not knock him out? So, yeah, I think that is the best way. So, yeah, I'll stay at home watching like a good UFC card with a bunch of people, everyone getting drunk, and maybe throwing a few dollars down on who's going to win.
Yeah, I'm definitely camp stay at home, but like... Yeah, I think if I was tiering it, home 1, bar 2, stadium 3. Stadium's a cool thing to say that you were at and as an experience, but man, I don't feel like going out of my way for that shit.
Or paying for it.
Oh God, yeah.
That's the bigger problem.
$50 to park, $20 a beer.
Yep. Exactly. No, I love that question though. Good job, Rob.
And last up, from Todd Howard Sucks, thoughts on the Game of the Year nominations. Also, LMAO, no Starfield. Funny you should mention that because we're going to be getting into that in a little bit. So we will answer that shortly.
Yep. And I figured that was coming our way.
Oh, yeah. So once again, thank you to all the patrons out there for all of the support. Make sure to check the links down below to the Patreon for all the tiers, for whether it's the $1 to get your Krusty Corner segments, all the way up to $10 to choose a movie for us to review. So no matter what, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much. All right, Chambers. So we are back and got some actually pretty big news since the past couple weeks. The first being the official announcement. I know there's been lots of leaks, but GTA 6. It's been a trend on Twitter. There's lots of these fucking trends that always drive me crazy. This one's a little more meh. But,
I mean, how much do you really say about this? So, I mean, last year, I think it was late last year, actually, they, like, said, hey, we're starting to work on GTA 6, but there wasn't any details. Then, over the months, like, there have been random leaks of video footage and crap like that. And, yeah, as of, I believe, we're recording this on the 13th, so it was last week, where they did, like, basically, yeah, it's in production, and it should be out in, like, a year or two, basically. And that's kind of all we know. Like, there's been leaks where people are kind of saying, you know, the protagonists are going to be, like, a guy and a girl, and, of course, some people are freaking out because it's like, oh, they're forcing diversity and putting a girl in there. It's like, who fucking cares? It's GTA. But I mean, besides that, we don't know a ton. Like, apparently, it's supposed to be Vice City, a return to Vice City, basically, but just like really expanded, which I am all about. And yeah, not much more to say except that'll probably sell $1 billion when it comes out.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, as the trend showed, is GTA 5 probably the longest running active game for like levels of participation and all that? Like, I gotta imagine it's up there. Like that, Minecraft,
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Okay, so yeah, like,
but I mean, it's the highest grossing game of all time as far as money goes. Yeah. I mean, like, with the money it made from GTA Online and just from its base sales, like, it's made billions and billions of dollars. So, like, that game is insane with how much money that it pulled in. Hundreds of millions, I think, or billions or something. I forget. It was, like, some astronomical number. But, yeah, I mean, it's arguably probably the most successful game of all time, or at least one of them. Like, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, how do you replicate that kind of success? It almost seems impossible. But, I mean, even the Switch, like, for as hot as the Switch was, it's still probably not going to touch the PS2. So, like, sometimes something is just lightning in a bottle, and you're never going to top it. Never say never, but they have their work cut out for them, and that's what they're kind of expecting.
Yeah, no, I mean, here's the deal. I think they're a longevity game. I don't think they look for, like, say it comes out in 25 or 4, whenever it comes out. I don't think they're necessarily expecting, like, it in that first year it blows numbers. It'll be like over, they're probably thinking like the next 6-7 years for a life cycle, because this is 10 years for this game between GTA 5 and S. So, like you pointed out, yeah, whole thing.
Didn't it make like $1 billion in his first year though? Like something astronomical?
It's still like, I'm just saying, I don't think they'll be disappointed if it's not another $1 billion sale right up front, because they make all their back ends. And what this article points out, which is interesting, is they said, yeah, if it is Vice City, expand it. They said they want to have the people that are creating the game the opportunities to like keep expanding it. So they'll just give free updates of like the city's growing. So basically, if the city starts at whatever size, by the time it's done, it might triple in size. So that's something to think about too. That's pretty goddamn cool.
That's great. It's almost like they're throwing like the Death Stranding mechanics into it almost.
Yeah.
Where like the players like kind of created the world around it.
I you know what, like that game, kudos for keeping it going and having the community it does, because it's crazy. I think you pointed out, could it get hurt by like, if this is the first one? I saw this one called Bonnie and Clyde. The original leaks were basically saying that the lead was going to be a Latina woman and something about she's a bank robber. Of course, I mean, obviously it's all about crime. But then, yeah, this one changes it to...
I was going to say, careful what you say there, Brian.
What?
You were just like, yeah, it's a Latino woman and she's a bank robber, of course. I was like, whoa!
No, it's a GTA game. It's going to be drugs, robberies, heist. Come on.
Well, obviously. I do love all the people online who, like, saw some clips and were like, oh, you know, I really hope they add more, like, you know, interaction with the inside of buildings. And then people are, like, fucking moralizing about, oh, well, you want to go into a, like, you know, a church or... It's like, shut the fuck up. Like,
you're supposed to be
the bad guy. Shut the fuck up.
No, somebody quoted that, and then, yeah, they showed themselves, I guess, in GTA 5 going into, like, a hospital and shooting it up. And I'm like... We know what GTA 5 is. I do think that a game like this should really maximize, like, at this point, like, going in. Like, they are great with the number of locations they already had, but that's a thing that, like, I couldn't tell you firsthand what the difference between 4 and 5 was. Like, other than the size of the worlds and probably customization options. But I think for GTA 6 to really step it up, it can't just be here's another sandbox, a little more like, you got to put something else a little bit more into it. So, you know what? Good for it. It's about time they come out with a new game, because what else do they got? I mean, I don't know if they're going to make a Red Dead 3, but like... I
mean, maybe eventually, but that, like, time in between was like, what, 10 years?
That was crazy too, yeah. Kudos to them. They're one of the few, them and I guess Nintendo are like the only holdouts that really space their shit still, like they used to back in the days, and delivers on quality. So I don't doubt it will be amazing in terms of sales and everything. We'll see how it comes. Of course, we'll cover it right up until it's released. So you still never played 5, right?
Nah, still never got around. I never even played 4.
Interesting.
I kind of got like burnt out after the PS2 era, because it was like you had 3 bangers in a row, and I was like, I've done this.
That's understandable. Yeah, I mean, they are great games, but I can't sell you on them. Like, I can't tell you that the experience can be like that much better than Vice City or San Andreas. So
right, and I'm not going to put the time into the online that like that's how the most people have kept it going. So like
I've never done it.
That's going to be wasted on me anyway.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes with that. But speaking of follow-ups, we mentioned the PlayStation Portal, some kind of back and forth, and The Verge kind of released a review of this. As we mentioned previously, it launches in 2 days. So technically, by the time you're watching this, it's already launched. Who knows what kind of sales figures it gets? Jim, do you want to throw some numbers out there? It's a $200 device. What do you think it's going to sell like?
I don't know, man. Especially after a review like that was already kind of a device that was getting kind of ho-hum, like, hype around it. Like, It's not like people were really excited for it. Like, everyone was kind of going, but why? And then the review came out, and it basically went, but why? And the long and story short... So to answer your question first, I would say it would be lucky to get, like, 100K sales in the first year.
So, I'm trying to look up right now. There was approximately 46 million PS5 sold.
Probably. Sounds about right.
So, the thing about the Portal is that's all it really is just a device that it'll link to your PlayStation, and that's it.
I was shocked by how nothing else it is. Like, nothing natively runs on it. You can't do anything on it except for stream a game that's already on your PlayStation. And like, what the article does a good job of saying is, like, hey, they've had remote play options for years. Like, you could play games, like PS5 games, off your PS4, or off your Vita, or off your, like, cell phone. So, there's almost really no point for this, unless you want, like, an easy setup, dedicated, use the real controller on the go in your house option.
I mean, is there something here that, like, maybe they'll, like, drop it on you? Like, okay, but now here's this other tier of PlayStation Plus where you can stream. Like, why would they only do that? Like, I really, really don't understand it. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think PlayStation has ever been amazing with their peripherals or whatever. Like, It's debatable how their VR, I feel like, has been well received. It's like one of the better VRs, right? Like that and the Oculus are probably...
The PlayStation VR was, like, really good for its price point, basically.
Yeah, that's so...
But, like, yeah, like, but even then, it's not like it was, like, the go-to VR experience for, like, the VR heads. And, like, they've always been kind of weird, like you said. Like, the PlayStation Move was arguably, like, the best motion control option of, like, the big three during that wave. But no one really cared. And then, like, the PlayStation VR has its fans, but it's, there. The VR2's been a massive flop, but we kind of said it was going to be a loss leader. So, yeah, this is weird.
Jim, what about the PSI?
I mean, you need... Right. What about it? It was perfect.
I mean, that's the thing. PlayStation, their bread and butter is just delivering banger games, I feel like, at the end of the day. And really great Blu-ray players. Like, and I know that's oversimplifying it, but at the end of the day, this just seems terribly, like, you said it. Why do this for $200? It's funny because I'm now at the point where it's like anything like this shit, I'm like, I guess it's not like $100. I could actually see myself going like, maybe, because like you said, the Switch, I'm sorry, I attribute 50% of the success of the Switch because of its convenience factor. At least. Like, if it wasn't convenient, if it was you had to only play it on your console, I don't think it sells half the amount that it sold. I think this is trying to cash in on that, but how PlayStation wouldn't be able to figure out how to like stream its own shit on there makes no sense at all. So
well, like you can't even do like the cloud streaming from like PlayStation Plus on it.
That's what I mean. Like how do you fuck that up?
I was just about to say that. Like when we were talking about this before, like this is a device that before all these details came out was like made for me. Was made for someone like me. I was like, I'd be interested. $200, I'd probably get my use out of it. But now when I look at this, I'm like, yeah, even for me that's a pass. And this is made for me.
If for some, here's the deal. I will say this: if they turn around and backpedal and say, you know what, you actually can stream that shit, I would actually probably get it. Because like you, like the convenience factor. I don't necessarily always feel like going down, plugging in, doing whatever. So I agree. What'd you say? You think 100,000 sales?
I'm going with Bob. I'm thinking 100,000.
Okay. And are you saying
100,000 units sold in the first year?
So it's only got about a month and a half. So.
Well, the first year of it being out.
Oh, the full year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say 100,001.
Motherfucker.
Price is right at your ass.
God damn it.
Loser has to buy the other one device.
No. Can't afford that shit.
It's only fair, Jim.
No, it's not fair.
Jim, like 3 of the games behind you sell. You can buy it for me. You're good.
But I like my stuff.
Damn it.
I mean, I do have Earthbound I could just sell right there. Then I would have cash left over.
Jim, you and your weird ass shit. I know you have your niche for that, but you know what? There's a lot of weird gaming shit we've talked about, and this one I oddly don't mind.
Oh, Brian, right now we're getting into the breaking news segment of the episode because we've got back-to-back stuff right now.
So go ahead. Why don't you explain what this latest weird gaming item is, which it's out there.
Brian, gaming is no stranger to movie tie-ins and movie licenses and cross-promotion. And Brian, everyone is so excited about the new Willy Wonka movie. But there's a cross-promotion going on, so Xbox creates its first ever official edible controller and a Wonka-inspired chocolate console. So, there's a sweepstakes right now. You can only get this item through Xbox's Twitter, basically. And, or maybe an online giveaway. It's an online giveaway. And, yeah, it is a Wonka-inspired, and actually it's a crazy-looking setup for the console itself. It looks like a chocolate bar. It's got Wonka written on it. It's got, like, all these side pieces and accoutrement that's, useless, but looks cool. It's going to take up a fuckload of room. And then it also comes with a candy pack that is a full-sized chocolate Xbox controller, and then a whole bunch of other little chocolates inside there, too. To, like, for achievement hunting, button masher, a bold espresso, your citrus sidekick, like, all kinds of just these little chocolate treats that are inside this box as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It is, it's limited to following Xbox on Twitter and retweeting the official Xbox sweepstakes tweet. And you have a month from November 13th to December 14th of 2023. And then there's a whole bunch of rules. Who cares? But, yeah, not available at retail. I entered. I don't have an Xbox Series X. I don't care if I win the chocolate one. Just give me a fucking free Xbox.
Damn it, Jim. But here's the deal. You are such a goof-ass collector mindset.
Oh, I would never touch the chocolate bar. That would be sitting in there until it rots.
I was going to say, I know you want to do that.
Or until my mice get to it.
Or would you even use the Series X? Because you'd have to take it out of its packaging.
Oh, no, my cheap ass. That has a use outside of just the packaging. So I will be opening that and using that Series X, Brian.
You know what? Like I said, this is one of those things. It's so frivolous. It's like, I actually don't mind this. For all the goofy shit out there, this is like, yes, it's going to breed some crazy asshole. Like, because the only thing I didn't see is, did they say, is it just literally one or is there multiple?
Hey, that's a good question. Yeah, let me see.
Because it says a limited time Wonka prizes. So that's the only thing I couldn't figure out. Like, is it just the one?
All right.
So it looks like one of the prizes is the Wonka inspired Series X, and
That's got to be like the grand prize, basically.
Yeah, and then I'm sure people can win a box of the chocolates and all that shit. So I guess the box of chocolates is like, that'll probably be like consolation.
Okay, prizes. One first prize. The first place winner selected will get the custom console, the black wireless controller that comes with it, the storefront console and display, the chocolate controller, the 3-month subscription to Game Pass, an edible controller, and the edible chocolates bundle. And then, so the approximate value of that is almost $800 goddamn dollars. We will only award one prize per person during that. No more stated. Yeah, I'm not sure how many winners and the breakdown of the rest of the winners.
All right, so Jim, even though
it might just be the one. It might this might be the golden ticket. It just might be the one.
It would be appropriate for Wonka. I guess my question is, would you? I know you're weird with that shit. You really would just let that chocolate just sit there?
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't even try to resell it?
I don't know. Maybe.
Because that's perishable. So like, come on. Like we learned with our Modern Warfare 2 monster drinks that eventually exploded and shit. Like, you can't keep perishable shit forever. Like,
well, Brian, do I make our first ASMR video?
I mean,
just old fatty me chopping away at those chocolates.
I think the funny part of that would be like how much you piss people off if you just sat there and just ate it. Nom 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 nom.
Ooh, that might be worth it. I might have to nom it.
I mean, yeah. I saw the preview for that Wonka. Do you have any ties or feelings for the original Willy Wonka?
Yeah, like everyone else. Like, I grew up with it, watching it at school and shit like that. Like, I really liked the original Willy Wonka.
Same.
And I saw the Tim Burton one in theaters and fucking hated it.
I did not see that one. But
you've never seen it at all?
No. Did you see that? When did that come out? When we were in high school?
Yeah, like 2003, 2004, or something like that.
I also feel like, though, that was also prime, like, Jimmy's too cool for shit mode. So maybe if you saw it today, you'd have a different opinion.
No, but I wanted to enjoy it, though. It's Willy Wonka. But, yeah, no, there's just no joy in that movie. It is a joyless experience.
Do you think this one is going to do...
You know what? A lot of people are shitting on the previews for this, and I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, looks like it could be cute. I don't see a problem with this, really.
I mean, that's our future Link. I mean, come on, that guy.
That is true.
He's one of the ones they keep throwing out there as a potential.
I mean, Brian, you have to have you only have a few twink options out there. So it's got to be either him or Tom Holland. You only have so many options, Brian.
This is true.
Do we dig up Michael Cera?
Damn it. Don't you dare.
What's McLovin doing these days?
So, yeah. I don't know. I like this. I'll enter in it. And if I win it, I'm going to eat the remote right on live stream. So
there we go. Brian makes the promise.
Listen, I'm a man of my word. Come on, Jim. You know that.
I know. You are a pain in the balls about that, but you are a man of your word. I'll give you that.
But Jim, way bigger news. And as you
Right, speaking of pains in my balls, the goddamn Game Awards.
Thank God some shit got leaked and we were able to see this early. Chambers, they announced. Well, not only do we know the Game of the Year nominees, we also know a few other categories, but come on.
I think all the categories at this point now.
I'm saying, no, at the end of the day, who really cares? Like, a Game of the Year is the one, and let's just be very clear, Jim and I have said many times, none of this matters. Considering some of the games that have won Game of the Year and some of the ones that have been thrown in there, what I'll say right off the bat is the Game of the Year nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'll say there isn't that wacky, like, indie game thrown in here that's, like, always I feel like been the norm for the past 5 years, where it's like 2 or 3, like, what the fuck are they doing in there? Like, honestly, for Game of the Years, these are all like...
There is no Cinderella story this year. These are all just like top tier games from the year.
The only one that kind of surprises me is Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, really? Like, that's a little soon. Of course.
I've heard it's good, but I still haven't heard that many people talking about it.
Well, yeah. And my only argument against Spider-Man 2 is like, it's so new. I know it's like inevitable that it would make a category or a lot of categories, but I'm like, that's another one. It's so new.
Well, this is the one like last year when like the new God of War was like out for like 2 weeks and it was already on the Game of the Year list for this.
Exactly. So I don't know. Like, honestly, the way I've been seeing, I said at the beginning of the year, of course I felt like Tears of the Kingdom would take it, but honestly, the way Baldur's Gate has been received, it wouldn't shock me if that took it. I don't think Wonder is going to win. Even though I know people do love that too, I think it's either Tears of the Kingdom or Baldur's Gate.
That's what I was going to... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Wonder. I don't think it's going to be Resident Evil 4.
No.
I think Spider-Man, if that won, I wouldn't be like super surprised. But yeah, like you, I do think it's a 2-man fight between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom.
And obviously...
I would kind of like to see Baldur's Gate get it, just because like a D&D inspired game like coming out of nowhere and just taking over the gaming world by storm like that.
I think, honestly, Tears of the Kingdom, I felt like was such a talked about thing for a month and a half. And man, the fall off from, I feel like, people caring about that game is so dramatic compared to Breath of the Wild, where I feel like that thing couldn't fucking die. I feel like that drop off was crazy, whereas Baldur's Gate, even the little bit I'm on the internet, I feel like people still talk about it. Of course, hey, would I love to see Resident Evil 4 win? Sure. But I know it's not overcoming all these others, if I'm being honest. So
yeah, like there's interesting ones, like how I think like Mortal Kombat didn't make best multiplayer game somehow. Like there's big snubs on here. Like I'm shocked, like you said, like I was expecting Sea of Stars to be that indie game that's always on there, because that got like a ton of hype when that came out.
Yeah.
Like no Mortal Kombat, no Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 was huge, and that's not on here.
But for Game of the Year, I think that everyone knows the biggest snub is Starfield, and it's like, say what you want about it.
I was gonna say, is it? I mean, I haven't played it. But...
No. Here's the deal. I said myself, Starfield has not grabbed me the way Skyrim did. But it doesn't take away from it's still a great game. I don't think Starfield would ever win, so I guess it doesn't matter that's not on there. That's why I'm just like, that should fill out the Alan Wake spot, but whatever. But the thing I saw a lot of people comment was Final Fantasy 16 not being on here, which I haven't played it, I can't say, but it seems to me that's a big one that a lot of people feel is really snubbed. I don't know, like, I looked at some of these other categories, like Best Indie Game. Sea of Stars is on there, but it's funny because the other ones I didn't hear anything about, like Cocoon.
Pizza Tower I heard about. I heard a lot of hype around that one. The other ones I didn't even hear of.
Wait, which one did you hear about?
Pizza Tower.
That's not on here. It's Cocoon, Dave the Driver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder.
What? No, I thought I saw, or did I was like
for Best Indie Game.
What the fuck did I look at? Hold on. Oh, wait, I was looking at Best Debut Indie Game.
Oh, okay. I also, you know what? Honestly, one that I feel is...
do they have Indie and Debut Indie as two separate things?
Apparently.
Why?
Because you gotta have categories for categories. Like, they have Best Ongoing, and here's the deal. You got Cyberpunk on there. You got Fortnite, Final Fantasy, Genshin Impact, Apex Legends. You're not going to put Warzone, really? Like, over Apex Legends? Who the fuck plays that, comparatively? Just a numbers game.
Apex is pretty big.
Numbers game, Jim. That's all I'm going to say. Numbers. But no, once again, I look at these and I go... You know, glancing through most of these, there's nothing that shocks me.
Brian, you know what my favorite one to always look at is? To make me feel like a real boomer?
Go on.
Content Creator of the Year, and to see if I've heard of any of these people.
Let me look. Let me pull it up. Oh my god, I legit got no idea.
So it's between Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, Spreen, and Cypher PK. I've heard of Quackity, but that's about it. And only because I think they blew up really big in like 2022 or something, and I forget what kind of video I saw about them. But outside of that, I've never heard of these people.
I'm so out of touch with that shit, and I'm so happy for it. I don't know. I look at these and I go, okay. This is one year where the Game of the Years doesn't shock me. Like I said, as we said, there wasn't that stupid thing. Best adaptation is going to be interesting, though, for the movies. It's Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo, The Last of Us series, Super Mario Brothers movie, or Twisted Metal.
I was really interested in that one, too. It has to go to Mario, right? It made $1 billion.
It has to. Like, here's the deal. I saw Last
they
of
might
Us.
go art house and go Last of Us. They might.
Well, no. Here's the deal. Last of Us was really, really good, but also I don't like that because I'm a firm like I don't think you compare a TV show that has 13 hours of content compared to a single movie. I think obviously you can adapt characters better, and like people got boners for certain episodes in that. Whereas Super Mario Bros. Is like, okay, it's an hour and a half. Boom, there you go. I'm actually shocked. I guess I'm not shocked. I was going to say Sonic 2. Was that this year or last year?
I think it was last year.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we'll obviously... When are the awards? I should have looked at that.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I know I'm not going to watch them anyway. I'll report on the winners, though. I'll do that. Easy content.
December 7th.
All right, so you got like 3 weeks to vote, basically.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean... So, Jim, if you had to put money down, let's bet a beer. What's the game of the year?
I'll go Baldur's. I think they're going to throw that a bone.
Fuck, that's what I was going to pick.
Oh, well, God damn it.
All right, well, if we lose, then we both have to drink a beer. That's all there is to it.
Oh, that works. Fine.
So, yeah, we'll follow it. And you know what? It's the 7th. I think last year I did stream it live.
If you did. That's right. I was in the chat for that. Yeah, we did stream that.
If I can, I will do it again. I think it was pretty late too. So yeah, I can maybe make that work again. So yeah,
maybe they'll have Halsey do another performance.
I mean, please and ass.
Yeah, I mean, she can sit on my face and take a shit.
Fuck. See, Jim, there was a line and you went over it way too far.
What?
Don't you dare say what. God damn it.
I am romantic. I can't help
it. Jim, let's close this episode out with, hours, very few hours before we start recording. You threw this one on here, but there's a little controversy going on in the world, Jim. So why don't you explain to the folks what the hell is happening?
Yeah. So, as of we're recording this at 8:30 at night. What was it, 4 o'clock in the afternoon? It was like a bang bang hit. So links below to Mutahara, Some Ordinary Gamers' video, but also Carl Jobst, the guy who's very famous for talking about speed runs, and Billy Mitchell trying to sue him left and right. They did a little investigating, and they looked into a guy we talked about before, Gerard the Completionist. A couple months ago, he did that big video where he bought every single digital game for Wii U and 3DS and made that big video. And yeah, now he's the subject of controversy because of his charity that he runs. So basically for, 10 years now, I think? It's been for a long time. He's been running a charity. His mom suffered and died from dementia, so he's been running a dementia event, or a charity event called... What was it, Indie Hands? I think?
Indie Games, yeah.
Yeah, and through his
Indie Land, I'm sorry.
Indie Land, yes. Indie Land through his charity company that he established called Open Hands, which was working with some other company that was supposed to donate the money towards research and stuff like that. Yeah. And they did some searching and they went through some IRS records, and it turns out no money has ever been sent out.
Did you mention who Mutahar did it with? I don't think I heard you say.
Yeah, Carl Jobst.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they did a Bang Bang hit together, or I shouldn't say hit, but yeah, they did the Bang Bang research together, 2 videos, both of them put it on their channels. And yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting watch. And Gerard has famously been one of those, like, you know, nice guys who's been beloved for like years and years in like the gaming community and retro gaming community. And this is a really, really, really bad look. Yeah, I mean, they even called him on the phone. So credit to these guys. I mean, it's not like a lot of these hit piece articles and drama videos you'll see where they don't talk to the creator at all or try to get their input. Like, they had a legit call and questioned him on it. And the long story short from Gerard's end is he was basically aware since 2021 that no money had actually been sent from the fund. But basically, they haven't found like the right thing that they want to send it to. That's the excuse they're using. And also that, like, apparently they said they talked to some foundations and the foundations were kind of like, if you give us a smaller donation, it kind of doesn't do anything except cover our expenses. And then if you give us a big lump sum, that's when we really can put it towards real research. That's the story he's going with. So, Brian, did you? I know I threw this on.
No. I did watch the whole video.
Okay.
Let me just say, my ignorance of all parties involved of this, like, Carl Jobst.
Yeah.
I do remember, like, as Mutahar was showing his stuff, I was like, oh yeah, didn't he do something like Billy Mitchell? Like, I kind of
stuff with Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, yes. We must have covered it on here because I don't think I found it myself. Obviously, the only reason I knew Completionist was that shit with the Wii U, him buying all the stuff on the eShop, which I knew the name The Completionist, but if you said pick him out of a crowd, I would have never known until that. And then Mutahar was another one. I just randomly was like, let me put on that Boogie documentary, and obviously that linked to all this shit of like the drama between him and Mutahar.
Oh, dude, he's in a war with Boogie right now.
Fucking great. Obviously that led me down the whole of like, I guess they both showed up on what's the fuck the guy's name?
They went on Drama Alert, I think. Or no, Review Tech USA. They went on his thing.
That guy. But Mutahar, it's funny, he was another one. Like, I've heard the name, no idea who he was, and then I was like, okay. And then I looked at his channel. I guess the first thing I looked at, I was like, Carl Jobst. I was like, it seems to be he is kind of like an investigative journalist. I can't figure out what Mutahar, like, I'm like, he's in the drama world, but he's
like gaming and like commentary basically.
Yeah, so which is why I'm like, when I saw him on Review Tech,
he's like Boogie but successful.
Well, he seemed like very in the weeds of like investigating shit on Boogie and like pointing it out. And I was like, is this guy like a journalist? And then I saw this and I went, what the fuck does he do all day? Like, does he just research random YouTuber? Like, I was just trying to figure out like, what does he do? So that, I know this is a tangent, but you know, listening to him, it all sounds really convincing. And he showed like the tax returns and all that stuff. I know nothing. I don't even want to, first, let me make it obvious. I don't care about the Completionist. It makes no difference to me. Do I think it was intentional? It could have been, but it's like, it seemed weird that he just has had that money sitting there, like the $600K or whatever he's earned over the past 10 years. I just think he's just probably very, what's the word I'm looking for? Not negligent, but like very just like
incompetent.
Doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Do I buy his story? Maybe, or maybe he's just like, whatever, like the money keeps going there, eventually we'll deposit. And what was more damning to me is when they got him on the call, he's like, well, what do you guys want me to do? You just want to do a hit piece on me? Like, should I donate it all? But I thought it would look shady. That's the only part where I was like, how defensive he's getting.
He did get very defensive. Now, honestly, it's not the entire call. They put clips up there.
Of course.
Who knows?
Yeah. And without knowing anything, the only things I know Mutahar are the Boogie situation and this. So I don't know him from anyone else. Is he someone that's trustworthy? I have no idea. So whenever I see this kind of drama shit, and this leaks like past drama. This is like, he's actually trying to incite an investigation into this guy. Where I'm like, okay, he's taking it a different level. Where I'm like, why? That's my only thing. Is like, why did he start this to begin with? That's the only thing, and maybe you know more about him. Because that's why I was like, he's a gaming YouTubing channel. Why is he diving into this shit?
Yeah, like, I don't follow a ton of him or Carl all that closely. Like, I've watched stuff here and there. And who knows, maybe they have a series where they've been looking into, like, scams and scammers. And, you know, we're all just late to the game. And it's hitting close to home because it's a gaming YouTuber. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, from what I've ever seen of Mutahar, it's always just been either commentary or, like, gaming stuff. So, like, Carl, I think, was the more investigative guy. Maybe they're working together and on a new series. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, my first thought when I saw this was, like you were saying, like, Gerard got very defensive, and it is a thing where it's like, man, like, I think the most damning part was when it's like, he knew about this since 2021, and he's still been planning these events. Like, he's still been, like, going on with the same thing he's been doing, even though no money's gone out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that is pretty damning, but, like, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter already just, like, writing all these articles, like, from lower-level YouTubers all the way up to, like, Dextero and shit like that, putting out articles and just hopping on the train. Immediately being, like, YouTuber accused of, you know, charity scam and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, Brian, I'm going to bring up an old name. This is almost a bit of a follow-up, Brian.
Uh-oh.
Have we not learned our lesson from Pro Jared? Because even us, we were very quick to hop on it, to talk about it. I threw it as a subject, and we basically bashed him. And
I don't like that guy. I still don't like that guy.
And that's why it was very easy for everyone to want to jump on it, because he's not a likable guy. He was a known asshole. Let's face it, he's a goofy-looking guy. So you go, oh, he's a sex pest? Okay, well, look at him. Shit like that. And, I mean, he, you know, crossed his T's and dotted his I's when he did his rebuttal video. Took him 9 months to do it, which was a weird look, but in the end, like, it was the right thing to do because he had receipts for everything and basically exonerated himself, even though by that point the court of public opinion, for the most part, and still today, goes, oh yeah, he's that, you know, fucking creeper who just gets, you know, nudes from his fans and shit. Which, I mean, he still kind of did. But that was the least, like, damning thing of all the stuff against him. But, so, like, Gerard's a guy, like, people want to root for, but it's just, like, it's shocking how much people are instantly jumping on it. And I'm like, I'm kind of in your boat, where I'm like, I don't think he was doing it maliciously, because you have to be a really fucked up kind of person, and not to say they're not out there, who will scam people out of money using your dead parent or family member's name in their honor.
Yeah.
Not to say it doesn't happen. It happens a lot, really. There's a lot of scumbags out there. But I want to give him almost a benefit of the doubt from, like, a human sake, that, like, he's not doing that, and he's just extremely incompetent in what he's doing.
The reason I tend to believe that is more the human nature, is pure incompetence that I've dealt with. I've dealt with way more just people being incompetent than people being malicious. And like you said, not that they're not out there, but I think Mutahar even pointed it out in his video. He said, he's like, obviously, like, the money is just sitting there. He said, so at the end of the day, it should just get an investigation by the IRS. He's like, you know, I think he even said, he's like, I'm not suggesting he's necessarily doing something with the funds, but he's clearly not. He's just hoarding it. Like, what is he doing? You know,
and he even admitted that, like, he took some of the funds out to help cover the cost of the event that he put on.
Which makes sense.
Maybe not the best look, but it's kind of like, I mean, I get it.
But it's funny because then if you look in the comments of that video, it's like, of course, are they really? I don't know. But there's a million like, hey, I'm actually a CPA. And yeah, you don't claim things in those line items that you kept calling out. Like, why are they zeroed? He's like, because of this tax, da-da-da. You know how like, working with a CPA always makes you feel like you're actually doing more legal shit. Like, when they start talking about stuff, you're like, what? I'm not, what? They're like, yeah, this tax code does, you know. So I don't know. I don't know
either.
Into the
fuckery of, like, state to state laws and all that bullshit.
Yeah, but like, it still goes back to, I guess at the end of the day, it's for content. But like, why does Mutahar dive into Boogie And this guy, like, that's my question. Like, it's like, I thought you were just a gaming YouTuber. And like you said, I guess he is more of a drama I don't know, but I just kind of go, doesn't that get exhausting? Like, you just choose, like, I'm going to look into this random person's info. I don't know. Like you said,
I don't know. Maybe the paychecks aren't exhausting. So,
I mean, maybe.
At the end of the day, it's like you said, it's content.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that is crazy enough, though, to spend so much money on Wii U eShop shit, there's probably something wrong with you. You know? So
I mean, I guess I'll give it this. Like, if you look at like the numbers that they presented from the tax forms, it's not like, well, actually, they didn't file for 2023 yet. That will be really interesting. Yeah, because, you know, they haven't filed the 2023 numbers yet. That could be the big, like, you know, canary in the coal mine, is to see how much money was taken out from, you know, quote unquote expenses from this in this calendar year. Because if it's like a shocking leap because it's been pretty consistent for the past couple years. It's been like, you know, 7 to 11 grand a year, something like that they've been taking out. So if there's like a shocking leap, then you can kind of put 2 and 2 together and go, uh-oh. So, I mean, like, here's my thing. We're recording this on Monday the 13th. The video had just dropped. All the pressure and eyes in the world are on Gerard right now. I mean, if by the time this episode comes out on Friday, he hasn't made, like, a donation by then, not to say, like, you're in a rush and, you know, then again, like, if you've been running this charity for 10 fucking years, you should have done your due diligence by now, knowing who you're giving it to. So I think maybe that time has passed of being like, I'm still deciding. Like, it might be too late. It might be time to just put up or shut up. So,
I guess, is that the same as, like, a comedian gets in trouble for a joke? Do you issue an apology, or do you just stick with, like, if his story is they weren't doing it because they couldn't find a charity that's right. And here's the deal. What I will say for Gerard is, I think it was like years ago, I first heard about like how much bullshit like 90% of charities are out there, where like, yeah, if you donate $100, it whittles down to $1 depending on like where the fuck you submit to.
Oh, dude, like Susan G. Komen's like an actual scam. Like, it's like maybe 1% of whatever you donate goes to actual research and shit.
Yeah, so that's where I go. Like, I think it was like Preston Steve that like talked about the list, and it really made me cognizant of it. I'm like, oh, like, and it was ones that were like pretty reputable, or like names you would hear. And I'm like, oh, that really sucks. But then, like, if you think about it, it's like, okay, I don't want to say it makes sense, but it's like, just like, you hate to say it. When Trump and all that shit went down, he said fake news, and it actually woke people up to like, oh yeah, most of the shit you hear from the news is pretty much bullshit, depending on which side you're leaning on. Like, charities are, in general, they're not, your money is not getting filtered directly through. So if you have, I look at this and I go, this is another thing. If you ever want to donate to something, donate directly. Don't go through a charity. Just donate directly. That'd be my best advice. But,
like, if we were bigger, I'd love to do like charity streams for like Chop in Philly.
I've said that before. I wanted to do a beer and arcade thing at that one arcade place I was telling you about near us.
Yeah.
And like try and do something and do like a charity event for it. But it's like, I also recognize, I feel like I'm too dumb to figure out the right means and methods. Like, how do you deliver it? Like this, like all those pieces where it's like, yeah, like, I don't know. And also seeing the downfall of like putting together the event and all this and that. So it's like, I don't know. I'm sure Gerard set that charity up with the right intentions. As you said, he lost his mom. I can't imagine he went, oh, gold mine. Like, he probably set it up right. He's just a dude who likes to play terrible games and beat them all the way. So it's kind of like, is it just malicious? Probably not. Could it be? Maybe. But yeah, it's an interesting topic. I didn't know if you'd be in more defensive one or the other, because, you know, I know you're more the internet guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really care that much about Gerard either way. I've seen a handful of his videos. They're fine. I don't love the guy or hate the guy. Anytime I see someone who's, like, considered, like, overly the nice guy, that's always a little bit of, to me. But that could be the cynical Philadelphian in me. But
Is he considered a really nice guy?
From what I've seen, he's one of those
Okay.
like guys who've always been like, you know, the super nice guy, lovable kind of guy. So there's always a thing that's like something there. But I don't know. I want to like. I'm gonna go back to that old adage of the easiest explanation is probably the right one, and I think in this case he probably just fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And
like again, like going back to Pro Jared, like I'm so sick of seeing people being like have their lives ruined like instantly over an allegation, and then like not have the chance to like either explain themselves or like fix it, or by the time they do, it's too late. It's a fickle mistress, this internet, Brian.
well, that you brought up a great point, and I do agree that I think the urge to you want to be on the cutting line of showing you're on the right side of history. So like in this case, yeah, I've already seen some people on Twitter like, oh, Gerard's done. Look how fucked up he is. It's like, and then my favorite is right underneath Mudahard's video. There's like a YouTube short of some random dude talking about like, this isn't a shock. He's like, I only watched 5 minutes of the video and I already know everything I need to know. I'm like, right there is the fucking problem. People just see a headline or whatever and the clickbaity bullshit, and they're already, oh, I knew this guy was a piece of shit. It's like, well, you gotta at least fucking watch. Like, that's where I go, come on, man.
Yeah.
Know what the fuck you're talking about.
And look, at the end of the day, anyone who does anything about this topic and puts it out there, you're doing it for content. We're doing it for content. Every single person else out there is doing it for content. At least, like, you know, just like you said, don't watch 5 minutes and be like, oh, guilty, fuck this guy, cancel, quote tweet. Like, you know, there's a lot of people jumping on that bandwagon now. Like, I'll even, even like fucking, like, I know he said, like, you know, oh, I wasn't being that serious, but RGT85, like, made a tweet where he's just like, oh, I mean, I never set up a charity that didn't pay out. It's like, dude, really? Like, do you have to jump on it right away?
Well, that dude, of course he has to. Of course.
That left a bad taste in my mouth. You know, it's like, come on, dude, really?
But he's the type that I feel like would do that.
I mean, his whole brand is based around hopping on the hot topic, so, I mean, I guess it's something he has to do.
I mean, it's, all this reaffirms why I'm so happy I'm not on the internet more, Jim. Like, It makes me so happy.
Look, Brian, you can say a lot about me, and you can hate me for a lot of valid reasons, but goddamn do I take some bullets.
I think you love it though a little bit, Jim. I think there's a little bit of, I think there's some gluttonous. I feel like if you just went through your screen and it was all happy shit, I feel like you don't even stop to look. I think the second it's something juicy and negative, you go, ooh, now I'll read it.
Brian, that's called human nature.
Jim, I've actually made it an effort to like, it's going to be the goofiest shit, but it's like animal videos, or like I told you, my restoration, like seeing old my Facebook and my Instagram are beautiful now, because now it's like, oh man, how is he gonna restore that old bread cutter from 1800s? Like just the goofiest shit, because it's like, yeah, I the negativity is just whew. I after clicking Boogie, my YouTube is fucked right now. My algorithm is so fucked. I'm like, god damn it. And of course it's all, ooh, maybe I will click on this. Yeah.
That's what's spicy, Brian. What's hot. That's why I get some clicks. Brian, breaking news. Hello from the future. We've never done this before. So we normally record on Mondays. Today is Wednesday. This normally comes out on Friday. But we had to hop on and talk about this because we have an update to the Completionist drama that could not be ignored. Brian, what are they doing? What's going on over here?
I mean, after the allegations that we already talked about, it seems like the charity has actually tried to strike down Carl. I'm going to fuck up his name every time. Carl Jobst. Jobst's video by citing concerns of privacy, even though the information that he provided was apparently public. Now, granted, I will admit, I only watched the Mudahar video, so the one being struck down is different than the one we referenced. But yeah, as you can imagine, the strike went out. That got blasted all over the internet. And here's the deal, Jim. The only thing I will say is what's amazed me is the very definitive rift it has caused in the Twitter gaming sphere.
Dude, it has been a hell of a couple days.
You see, like, the people that are just, like, so goddamn thirsty to get content, and they're like, he's guilty, fuck him, he's terrible. And the other one's like, is there anything called due process? Like, could it be, like, and starch defenders as well. Like, it's been amazing to watch. As you and I said, I don't care enough about the dude. It seems shady. I don't know if he really had malicious intent. This move, though,
that's a bad one.
If it wasn't him directly, whoever's running his account and decided to do that, where are your brains at there? Like,
well, I mean, one, it wasn't like a copyright strike. It was a privacy complaint, which I don't even know what those are on YouTube. I'll have to look that up. I've never heard about that. I've
never heard of it either, but presumably it's because you're leaking. It's equivalent to doxing. Like, you're leaking private information, which, once again, didn't watch Carl's video. I don't know if you did.
Nope.
If it's anything like Mutahars, I don't know if he was pointing out the shit like with the tax information, which that is all public. If he went further, I don't know. But regardless, it's a bad look. Like, now it goes, well, are you hiding something? And I know people have already started posting. Completionist is starting to lose subs. They've already lost 10 to 20K subs. So it's not the best look. But here, you and I said this also.
And we want to put it out there. We don't know for sure it was him who did it. It could have just been someone at Open Hands Foundation. That's who put in the complaint. So, I mean, that foundation's run by his entire family. So maybe he had his sibling or a parent or some shit who was like, well, fuck all these guys and tried to strike it. Who knows? All I know is it's not a move that innocent people tend to do.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, regardless of what comes out of this, in the court of public opinion, his reputation is going to take a big hit. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how big the fall with his subscribers is going to be, but the numbers are going to come down. I don't know if you even want to throw a percentage. Is it 10%? I don't know.
Who fucking knows?
Yeah, but it is it's an interesting move, because we said we would wait and see, would he have a response video? He's been, to my knowledge, radio silent.
Yep.
I don't think we're gonna hear anything this week, honestly.
Yeah, you know what's happening right now, obviously. Any response he's putting together, he's filtering through his lawyers and shit like that. It's gonna be the most corporate, fucking scrutinized thing that's gonna be out there. So I hope for his sake, if it turns out to not be as malicious as everyone's saying, and it's looking at this point, he doesn't wait 9 months to address it, so he can kind of nip it in the butt. But yeah, we're 2 days in, hasn't been a goddamn peep out of his camp except for this privacy complaint. Yeah. So yeah, not a good look.
Jim, by next time we record, do you think he's responded or donated?
If he was smart, donated, but we'll be lucky if there is a response by then. So I'll go with response.
I'm going to say neither happens.
Probably not. Maybe it might be too quick even for a response.
Yeah. So we'll keep following it, but yeah, this is just a random breaking thing that we saw. We're like, you know what? Let's just throw it in here. So let's see. We got, by the time you're watching this, it'll be a couple days from now, and then we'll have a couple days before we record again. Follow up on it.
Yeah, I know, right? God only knows what's going to happen by then.
So, interesting times, Chambers.
Yeah, we're going to come on, we're going to be coming on next week and being like, God damn it, Jordan killed a baby the day after we recorded our update.
Damn it, Jim. Stop saying like it's a bad thing you missed it. Fuck.
What? Fuck. Breaking news, Brian.
God, I'm going to hit you when I see you.
So, I mean, yeah, to your point, like, I follow a lot of pages that are just drum restoration videos. Or, hey, let's talk about the Klingon fleet. Gotta have your escapes, Brian.
Jim, by the way, make the goddamn tier list already. I want to do my
Fuck! I'm just working on myself.
And you know what? I also want a tier list of Star Trek shit, because I'm equally as ignorant to that. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me test something real quick.
Okay.
I'm trying to think which one is Picard. I know the name. Hold on. Is it...
the level of how you're disassociated from some of the most mainstream stuff is
Picard is what's his face? It's Professor X, right?
Yes. What's his name, Brian?
Fucking Wheels. Patrick Stewart.
It's amazing that you run a gaming website and you're that like disconnected from like one of the nerdiest icons out there.
There's lots of nerd. Even though I've seen them, I can't tell you the lore of Lord of the Rings, which is superior to Star Trek, of course.
Fucking elf shit.
I mean, I will give you my legit. I've seen Star Trek, the movie with Chris Pine.
Good movie. I like that review.
Yeah, it was fine for me, especially because I've never seen it. I know Captain Kirk. I know Spock from the original. I know the Scottish doctor. The fucking. Oh my
I love
God.
how easy his name is right now, and you were almost there.
Oh my God, it's Scotty.
There you go.
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, the Scottish guy.
And then is it Picard is in the new generation, right?
Yes, next generation.
Next generation, and
New generation was WWF, Brian.
And then in that one, is that the one with Geordi?
Yes.
And then which one had Jerry Ryan? Because I do know her.
Oh, Voyager.
Oh, I know that one. I know her. That's all. I don't know her name in the show.
Or Star Trek Picard too. She's also in that. But yes.
I know Klingons.
Yeah, oh my god, 1997 Jerry Ryan. Oh.
I've seen the clips and I know the thing of the Klingons, like where they put the thing in your ear.
No, Brian, that was from Wrath of Khan.
What's the difference? Isn't Khan a Klingon?
No, he's a super soldier. He's a genetically engineered super soldier.
Oh, I thought. Then what's Klingon? Is that the one with the?
It's a race. It's a race with the bumps in the face.
Yeah, like the dicks coming out of their heads.
But worse than the Bajorans and worse than the Vulcans and all that shit.
So the Klingons are the dicks in the head, and then the Khan is just a super soldier.
Yes.
Then. Okay. Then who put the thing in your ear? Which one?
Khan and his henchmen did.
Okay.
When they took over the Defiant. Or no, the Reliant. Defiant was Deep Space Nine.
And I know the name of the ship at least. It's Voyager.
Well, yeah. One of the ships.
See?
Yes.
I'm smart. I know stuff.
I'm smart.
So,
you can put me in charge.
But it wasn't in one of those shows.
Give me a chance, Mikey.
You know what? It's funny. The saddest part is most of my knowledge of that shit was commercials from when I was a kid. And I was like, wasn't Whoopi Goldberg in one of those series?
Yeah, she was the Next Generation. Guinan.
Okay. Wait, what?
Her name was Guinan.
Guinan?
Yeah.
Terrible name. Yeah, like, it is funny because other than, I think I've heard the nerd talk about some of the things about like how in the original Star Trek they would like do time travel and like go back to like 50s and shit, or like different time periods and stuff. So,
that has happened.
Yeah,
it's kind of happened on all of them in one form or another. And
I do kind of know what is the old, just like how stormtroopers can't aim for shit. What is it? Red shirts die first.
Yes, you do know that.
I do know that one. I do not. See, there's some. I don't know what the hell the little shooters are called. I'm sure there's a name for them. I don't know. Phasers. So yeah, I'm just like anime. See,
okay, do you want characters or do you want like ships for tiers? I guess it should
do
be
one of each.
Do one of each. I guess I could do that. Yeah. All right, I got some work to do. Shit. God damn it, I have homework.
Here's the deal. I can promise you there's probably already tier maker lit. Just find one that you think suitable for me to do.
Yeah, I'll just find someone else's. We'll give them credit.
See, Jim, this is what we're talking about here. Which one do you think's going to piss you off more? My lack of knowledge of anime or Star Trek?
Ooh, to piss me off more. I mean, if it was general anime, like, I barely scratch the surface compared to most weebs. But, like, I do love me my Dragon Ball. I think Star Trek will probably piss me off more, though.
Like, look at this nerd. You're like, he's the best character ever.
Oh, wait, God help me if you fucking besmirch Miles O'Brien, you son of a bitch.
Who's the Borg?
Don't you dare besmirch the hero of Setlick 3.
Who's the Borg?
Who's the Borg?
Or what's the Borg? What, like, isn't that a thing?
For a time, they were the best enemies until they got fucking nerfed in Voyager.
Who's the guy that looks like he's wearing a Michael Myers mask with the slick back hair? He's got like a very pale face and like slick back hair.
Oh, fuck. You mean Data?
Is that what his name is? Yeah. Probably Data.
Yeah, the android.
Yeah, he's stupid.
Okay, yes, it will be Star Trek. That'll piss me off more. Yes, I have to get around. I'll find these. We have to do these fucking videos. We have to do these. I'll have to come over. We got to do these in person.
No, I said for sure I want you behind me so you can give commentary to my commentary because you can be mad. Be like, God damn it.
You're going to see a murder on screen. I'll whip out a gun and just shoot him.
Because when you send me the tier maker list, I'm going to put in my own descriptors of like, looks cool, little bitch, you know, like all types of things.
Oh, yeah. Just enough customizing.
But I know we went on a long tangent there. Don't trust charities, I guess is the answer here, right?
Yeah, obviously. Never donate.
No.
That's the real story.
I think we'll see. Yeah, like Jim said, this is coming out. If Gerard even makes a response video or whatever,
I'd be shocked if by the time this video comes out that he hasn't responded in some form.
Yeah. So we'll follow up next week just to see, like, was anything happening? If nothing happened, then we'll leave it be. But, yeah, nothing like a little drama, Chambers.
Look, Brian, we don't always need to jump to conclusions, Matt, okay?
Sometimes you do. Now, Chambers, the real question is, how did that Stand By Me treat you?
This is weirdly one of the first times that I can say that, like, I really noticed the lactose. Because, like, a lot of times they're like, oh, it's got lactose in it. It's a milkshake fucking thing. And then, like, you're kind of just like, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. And maybe it's a little creamier. But I guess because, like, sours are so generally not creamy that it stood out more in this.
Did it throw you off?
Huh?
Did it throw you off a little bit?
Maybe a tiny bit at first. Like, it's definitely a heavier mouthfeel than most sours. But it isn't, like, you know, super thick or, like, you know, where it's, like, completely off-putting. It was just different, but it was still good. Okay. You know me, I like my sours. It was nice to have something, like, actually kind of different when it comes to a sour.
Okay. Nice. I like it.
So if you like sours and you're kind of sick of them all being essentially the same, yeah, give this a shot. And even with all the fucking particulates and granules at the bottom, I didn't notice as I was, like, drinking it down. So it wasn't like thick enough that you're, like, crunching on anything.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, the Jovial, this is one of the different ones where we've talked a lot about beers that are heavy and they don't seem, for 7%, this one hit harder than, like, sometimes when I feel like I have 10%ers. Like, it just hit me and I went, ooh, I'm feeling this one. Very delicious, but man, it's a sipper. Like, I don't suggest two of that. Like, I switched over to Coors after this. It's delicious. A good end of the night nightcap, or if you're sitting around a fire pit, especially like with winter coming up, I think that would be a perfect beer. Once again, I don't know if it's available all year round, but it is a cool, as you saw at the beginning, had the little cork top and little fancy wire thing at the top. So yeah, or I think those are called cages. So yeah, I would definitely suggest it if you can find it, of course. So, with that, everyone, we want to say thank you all so much for listening and watching. If you are watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscription and notification bell. It would mean the world to us. And don't forget to comment and hit like below if you enjoyed the content. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. Even if you want to bash us in the comments, we will respond and react on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.